Here's a story that got us in our feels this week. We're taking a look at a meditation teacher who found an incredible way to help those in need. Shelly Tygielski taught trauma-informed mindfulness to underserved communities in Florida. But once COVID-19 hit, everything changed, and she felt the need to rethink how to help people. This led her to launch Pandemic of Love, a grassroots foundation that connects individuals in need with people that have the ability to give.
People were legitimately worried about how they were going to stock up on supplies, for example, when they were already living paycheck to paycheck. I thought, well, why don't we match people who can give, who have the capacity to give and help people fill up their fridge and just meet basic needs with people who are in need.
Shelly goes on to explain how Pandemic of Love came to fruition.
So I went to Google Forms and I created 2 forms on that day, one for Give Help and one for Get Help. I put those 2 links up on my Instagram and Facebook page, and to my surprise, the following morning when I checked the sheets, I saw that there were 400 names that had filled out the forms for something that they needed help with, and there were over 500 people who filled out the form to give help. So I immediately proceeded to start matching individuals.
And soon, Shelly found that her mutual aid movement grew bigger than she could have ever imagined.
The original concept was really meant to just serve my local community. I never imagined that it would go viral, no pun intended, and that so many thousands of people would share the form and would reach out from all over the globe to start their own communities.
Within 36 hours, sure enough, of submitting my form, I had an email sitting in my inbox with an intro to a young woman who had recently lost her job and essentially all of her income due to COVID. And for the last couple of months, we've been getting to know each other. We've been in touch, and I've been trying to help with groceries and other essentials while she waited to get approved for unemployment, which only just happened at the end of May.
Another donor, Rick Danzansky, shares one story that stood out to him when he joined the movement to help someone in need.
I met a woman who had a food cart for the last 15, 20 years, and all of her orders dried up. When Shelly put me in touch with her, we ended up talking and emailing, and then we finally met with masks on in a parking lot outside of a Home Depot. I'll never forget seeing the tears well up, because that's the only part of your face I could see with the masks on and the hats on. But I could feel the genuine emotion, and we both broke down, and we actually hugged at that moment.
The organization is run by more than 600 volunteers. Susie Israel was a person who needed help initially, but then went on to become a volunteer herself.
My son was in a bad housing situation, and I wanted some extra funds for him. I got a donor, actually I got 2 donors, and that helped him tremendously. He was very skeptical about it, but it came through, and I was so thankful. I'm a cancer patient and had no means to help him in any meaningful way. So I'm glad that I can match donors in my town and help people like my son and I were helped.
Despite the current struggles our nation faces, these heroes still have hope for the future.
Love is infectious, and love can be a cure. I really hope that people recognize that when we're able to tap into love over fear and we can connect with one another once again, that we can actually build a better future and build new models for the way we want the world to be.
Especially right now, given our current social climate and how it requires able-bodied, healthy folks to be out in the streets. And it's a privilege to give, and it's a privilege to protest. And I just feel grateful that I'm able to be a part of that.
Post-quarantine and post-protesting for racial equality, I look forward to so much of a better world and a more just society. The fortunate have to step up. Business leaders can't be passive, and the wealthy have to share their largesse with those less fortunate. We all need to do our part if we wish to have opportunities for our grandchildren and our next generation.
Gosh, really, truly love your neighbor. Neighbors that you don't know, neighbors that you do know, neighbors who don't look like you, who are a different color than you, who come from a different place than you. Love your neighbors. We're all in this together. And I believe in the end, love perseveres.